Chapter 1. Welcome to the Walls. The gates of Ravenwood Medium Security Prison clang shut behind you, echoing like a distant thunderclap. Set deep in the heart of a dense forest, this sprawling facility stands as a stark contrast to the serene nature surrounding it. As the sounds of rustling leaves and distant bird calls give way to the mechanical grinds of steel and concrete, listeners are immersed in a world fraught with tension and solitude. This documentary, Voices Behind Bars, aims to peel back the layers of this isolated existence, capturing the raw, unfiltered experiences of its inhabitants. Each inmate's story reveals not only their past mistakes, but also their hopes for redemption. Join us as we embark on a journey through these prison walls, an exploration of resilience, connection, and the indomitable spirit of humanity, set against the backdrop of a life where every choice reverberates through the corridors of confinement. Chapter 2. Eli sits in his dimly lit cell, the hum of fluorescent lights buzzing overhead, his fingers poised over a makeshift tablet he fashioned from scraps. In his diary, he recounts how a passion for coding spiraled into a world of cybercrime, leading him deep into the shadows of the internet before his arrest. "I thought I was invincible, just a kid playing in a digital playground," he writes, a tinge of regret permeating his words. Yet, beneath that remorse lies an ember of hope. His dreams reach far beyond these prison walls. He imagines a future where technology becomes a force for good, a way to help others avoid the mistakes he made. As he shares these thoughts in his recorded entries, the sound of distant laughter and clanging cell doors serves as a backdrop, reminding him of the stark reality he faces, while fueling his desire to forge a path toward redemption through technology. Chapter 3. Maria's Regret. Maria sits on the edge of her narrow bunk, the faint light filtering through the small window casting shadows on the wall. In her diary, she writes of her past life as a dedicated nurse, helping those in need, and the crushing guilt that now envelops her. "I never meant to become a trafficker," she reflects. The words spill onto the page like her tears, thin, bittersweet lines of regret. Audio clips echo from support sessions. The sound of fellow inmates sharing their stories resonates deeply with her. "I was just trying to survive," she remembers, grappling with the choices that led her here. Maria longs to reclaim her self-worth and help others like her. Each day she fights the urge to give in to despair, seeking solace in the possibility of forgiveness and the hope of a life rebuilt. The prison walls may confine her, but her spirit yearns to soar. Chapter 4. David's Journey. David sits on his cot, the dim light filtering through the barred window, illuminating the weight of his past. A middle-aged father serving a manslaughter sentence, he grapples with the shadows of regret that haunt him daily. In his diary, he writes about the fateful night that cost a life and shattered his family. Each entry unveils his inner turmoil. The laughter of his daughter, now replaced by silence, echoes in his mind. He reflects on missed milestones and unspoken apologies, a heavy mantle he carries. Through audio snippets from group therapy, we hear his raw emotions as he confronts both the pain he caused and his yearning for forgiveness. "I wish I could turn back time," he admits, shedding tears during the session. Yet beneath the sorrow lies a flickering hope of reconciliation. David yearns for the day when he can embrace his daughter again, determined to find a path towards healing for both of them. Chapter 5. Jamal's Dilemma. In the heart of the prison, Jamal, a charismatic gang leader, wrestles with his identity amid the turmoil of his past. As he shares his story through diary entries, listeners catch glimpses of a life steeped in loyalty to his gang, where violence was currency and trust often betrayed. Yet beneath the bravado lies a deep yearning for change, a desire to break the cycle that ensnared him and countless others. Through candid reflections, Jamal grapples with the conflict between his gang affiliations and a burgeoning commitment to a better path. He recalls moments of fear where allies threaten his ambitions, while also finding solace in the friendships forged within the prison walls. Each entry echoes his struggles and hopes, revealing an internal battle against the shadows of his past as he seeks a way to redefine his legacy, not as a gang leader, but as a man willing to embrace redemption. Chapter 6. Daily Life in Confinement. In the tightly controlled environment of medium security prison, every day unfolds with a relentless rhythm. The sound of clanging cell doors resonates through the hallways, marking the beginning and end of each routine. Inmates shuffle to the mess hall for breakfast, where the scrape of metal trays on concrete fills the air, mingling with quiet conversations and the occasional laughter. Mealtimes become sacred moments of shared experiences, where bonds are forged over tasteless food and memories of better days. As the sun rises, the yard comes alive with the sounds of footsteps on gravel and the distant echoes of basketballs bouncing. Inmates engage in physical education, attempting to break free from the monotony through camaraderie and competition. During this time, diary reflections capture the juxtaposition of despair and fleeting joy, as inmates cling to tiny victories in a world confined by concrete walls, forming their own sense of community amid adversity. Chapter 7. Connections and Friendships. In the cold confines of the prison walls, warmth often flickers unexpectedly between bars. In this chapter, the inmates reveal how friendships blossom amidst adversity, transforming their isolation into a tapestry of support. Eli finds solace in late-night conversations with Maria, bonding over their ambitions for a better life beyond prison. Their laughter punctuates the otherwise somber atmosphere, a reminder of hope. Jamal, once a solitary figure, cultivates connections by sharing his leadership skills, slowly earning the trust of those around him. As they exchange stories during yard time, the sound of mingling voices creates an orchestra of resilience. David, too, experiences the power of camaraderie as he confides in fellow inmates about his estrangement from his daughter, prompting others to share their struggles. These moments of friendship illuminate the healing potential of human connection, reminding everyone that even behind bars, they are not alone. Chapter 8. Turning points begin. As the weight of confinement presses on their shoulders, pivotal moments ignite sparks of hope among the inmates. Eli stumbles upon an old, forgotten computer in the depths of the recreation room. The flickering screen becomes a beacon, inspiring him to initiate a coding workshop, a haven where creativity meets technology. His diary entry reveals the exhilarating rush of teaching others, illuminating the room with newfound possibilities. Meanwhile, Maria drafts her plans for a women's support group, seeking to empower her peers through shared stories of struggle and resilience. Her reflections echo with the pain of her past, but also a fierce determination to heal. Both Eli and Maria's dreams begin to intertwine, crafting a narrative of support and collaboration. As fellow inmates rally around their visions, the idea of transformation becomes palpable, echoing through the sterile walls and softening the hardness of prison life, hinting at the promise of change just on the horizon. Chapter 9. Confronting the Past. In a small, sunlit room within the prison, David sits across from the father of the son he inadvertently killed. The tense atmosphere hums with unspoken emotions as David fidgets nervously, thinking of his estranged daughter who deserves more than his mistakes. Heartfelt audio clips capture David's voice quavering as he recounts the fateful night, the choices he made, and the weight of his guilt. The victim's father shares his pain, his voice cracking with grief, echoes of loss mingling with anger. Listeners can almost feel the air thickening as the two men confront their shared tragedy. Slowly, understanding emerges, a fragile thread binding them together amidst the chaos. This powerful moment of vulnerability allows David to discover that forgiveness, both for himself and from others, is a pathway to healing. The chapter closes with poignant reflections on accountability, as David realizes that embracing his past is essential to building a future. Chapter 10. Breaking Free from the Cycle. As Jamal wrestles with the weight of his gang affiliations, he embarks on a tumultuous inner journey towards self-discovery and change. Diary entries reveal his turmoil, feelings of loyalty conflicting with a burgeoning desire for redemption. In the dim light of the common area, surrounded by old companions, he grapples with memories of violence and the promise of a different life. Discussions with fellow inmates reveal the spectrum of violence that has defined his past, displaying both admiration and disdain. Jamal recalls pivotal moments that cemented his status in the gang, while simultaneously contemplating the price of freedom. His nights are filled with restless thoughts, yearning to break the cycle that has held him captive for so long. In tender yet gripping reflections, he voices his hopes for a future where his identity is not tied to past allegiances, but to newfound responsibilities. The sound of fading footsteps echoes in the halls as Jamal contemplates the courage needed to redefine his path. Chapter 11. Resistance and Conflict. As the inmates strive for personal growth, they encounter significant resistance within the prison walls. Eli, eager to share his newfound passion for coding, faces backlash from other inmates who resent the shift in dynamics. They can't understand how a young hacker could inspire change amidst their struggles. Maria's attempts to launch her women's support group are met with skepticism from the guards, who view her efforts as potential disruptions rather than paths to rehabilitation. Meanwhile, David's emotional confrontation during the restorative justice program spirals into chaos as buried feelings erupt, exposing the raw pain of his past. Tensions rise as Jamal grapples with old loyalties that threaten his transformation, torn between the desire to break free from gang life and the fear of retaliation from former allies. In these moments of conflict, the strength of their resolve is tested, but each struggle reveals the fragility and potential for change within their hearts. Chapter 12. The Power of Unity. As tensions escalated within the prison, the inmates found solace in one another, forging an unbreakable bond. The newly formed art committee galvanized their spirits, organizing an inter-prison arts festival, a celebration of their collective resilience and creativity. Sounds of hammering, laughter, and spirited discussions filled the air as they transformed a dreary common area into a vibrant gallery adorned with paintings, poetry, and performances. Each inmate poured their heart into their creations, using art as a means to express their struggles and growth. Eli's coding workshop turned into a digital exhibit that showcased their technological innovations, while Maria's support group inspired poignant theatrical pieces reflecting their personal narratives. On the day of the festival, amidst the cacophony of shared laughter and applause, the atmosphere buzzed with hope and pride. Together, they stepped onto the stage, each voice rising in harmony, symbolizing their newfound unity and commitment to change, reminding one another that they were not alone in their journey towards redemption. Chapter 13. Voices of Change. As the day of the Inter-Prison Arts Festival dawns, the air is electric with anticipation and nervous energy. Inmates gather in the makeshift performance space, a transformed corner of the yard, where barbed wire now mingles with vibrant fabric and makeshift art. Soundscapes of laughter and murmurs ripple through the crowd, blending with the rustling leaves outside the high walls. Eli takes the stage first, showcasing a coding project that empowers his fellow inmates to tap into technology and envision a brighter future. Maria follows, delivering a heartfelt spoken word piece about resilience, capturing her journey from regret to hope. David steps forward, recounting his story of redemption with raw emotion, while Jamal shares a powerful rap, challenging the cycle of violence that defined his past. Together, their voices resonate, weaving a tapestry of shared experiences and newfound aspirations. The inmates embrace their roles as artists and storytellers, forging bonds that transcend the confines of prison, igniting a collective spirit of hope.